Whether you are in your retirement years, heading there, or nowhere close, we have great things to share with all stationary RVers, and many of our tips work for nomad RVers as well. So stay tuned for this week's amazing tips, tricks, and tested products. Living a simplistic life is very rewarding in that there are a lot fewer expectations than living in a traditional brick-and-mortar home. However, there are trade-offs. And to avoid the stress and panic of facing unexpected situations in your RV, such as inclement weather, unexpected guests, power outages, or an extreme evacuation, if you have a plan in place, that can make all the differences. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Preparing for the unexpected in your stationary RV. Now, I love living in the mountains of Colorado. But you know what? You have to know what is possible in your area. And I have to admit, I don't particularly like the springtime in the mountains of Colorado. And that's mostly because we have no spring. February, March, and April are the snowiest months of the year for us. This photo was taken just a couple days ago, and we got over 30 inches of snow, and it's taking days to dig out. The snow from the previous storm hadn't even completely melted yet, and we're usually counting on getting our spring snow clear into May. So how do we prepare to deal with it? Well, first, we prepared for winter weather during the fall by checking off items on our prep list. Second, we watch the weather reports, and that's plural. We always watch more than one because we have some favorite weather women, like everybody else, but sometimes they're more right than others. And it really depends on where they're getting their information about how reliable they are, or accurate they are, I should say, in our particular area. We make sure we have the food we need on hand by planning our meals, by making sure we have some alternative options if needed. We also have some alternative cooking methods just in case the power goes out. Have I ever mentioned that my husband was a Boy Scout and a firefighter? So he's always prepared. We make sure also that we have enough food on hand for Miss Izzy. We use the farmer's dog, so they do deliver that to us. Therefore, we have to make sure we have a bit of extra or something close to it because of her sensitive little tummy to make sure that she has enough that outlasts any possible situation as well. We have a couple neighbors that we always like to check into, and we want to make sure that they know that we're going to be home, that we're prepared, and that we will keep in contact with them, and we want to know the same from them. And also, if our kids are also going to be impacted by some of the same weather or emergency situations, we have some kind of a communication contact with them as well. It's just wise to stock up on your essentials regardless of what might come your way. One of the biggest questions you might ask is, where do you store these extras? And how do you find them when you need them? Well, the obvious is any unused space that you have. In our RV toy hauler, we don't use the loft and we don't use the bed in the toy hauler part for anything other than storage. So that really does provide a lot of storage for us. You have any of the obvious spaces, but there are also some not so obvious spaces that you can store things. And that might be under your couch. This was a space that we found just by chance that was not used, and because we don't move our slide in and out all the time, this provides a great deal of storage for us underneath our couch. You also might have outside storage. You have to decide what you need to keep secure, what needs to be weatherproof, and obviously the things that are stored outside will be dependent on these things. You also have to think about animals. In our area, we do have bears. So if you have something that's very fragrant, a bear might just want to help themselves to it, and that could be dangerous. I have created an RV home notebook with essential information and documents, and that way everything is documented for us both electronically and in my notebook. So suppose we have an emergency like an evacuation and Wi-Fi is interrupted or too difficult to obtain. In that case, I have phone numbers, account numbers, and copies of most of our important policies and applicable information all at my fingertips. I just grab that little notebook and take it with us wherever we go. Make sure your RV has routine maintenance checks. So regularly inspecting your RV for any potential issues can help prevent unexpected problems from arising. So in your RV binder, and I really suggest you create one, or you can DM me and I'll tell you about mine, you might want to create a list of annual maintenance reminders and dates they need to be made. This really helps when it comes to creating our annual budget or our monthly budget. So you can also keep track then in your notebook of when you purchased the item, where you ordered it from, and how much it cost. So safety, obviously, should always be your top priority when preparing for the unexpected in your stationary RV. Everyone knows you need to have a first aid kit, but how many really know what needs to be in it? And where do you find it when you need it? I made a very extensive first aid kit for a road trip we took last fall, and I included into the kit a doggy first aid component in case Miss Isabella had any incidents of any kind as well. We keep this in a very conspicuous place right on top of our freezer in the toy hauler where it can be accessed very quickly. Now, a fire in an RV can be devastating. So keep your carbon dioxide, your smoke detectors, and fire extinguishers in good working order and replace them quickly when needed. A wildfire in our area is always a summer possibility, and it may require evacuation. So our county sheriff's office provides these door hangers for just such a possibility. Now, in your area, it might be floods, tornadoes, or any other inclement weather or disaster situation. But having one of these door hangers, filling it out before any emergency with your contact information is really proactive. I'd also suggest noting that you have your pet with you or your pets. Knowing you have these safety measures in place can help you feel more secure in your living space. We keep a seasonal weather survival bag in each of our cars, especially during the winter months when snowstorms can strand drivers quicker than they think. Not only do we include what's necessary for us, but items such as blankets, coats, and booties for our little fur baby too. Make sure your cell phones are charged and you have any additional battery charged as well. I have several backup batteries for traveling, but during the winter months, I make sure they're housed by our battery station for ease of use. So make sure you have sufficient batteries for every size that you might use and create a rotation system throughout the winter. This works really well with a containered system. The key to surviving emergencies in your RV is being a bit flexible. It's important to be prepared for the unexpected, but it's also important to remain a bit flexible. Things may not always go according to your plan, so adapt to changing circumstances. That can really make a world of difference. In all situations, stay calm, assess the situation, and make decisions based on the information available to you. My friends, I hope you are safe now. I hope you stay safe, and I hope you are prepared for any situation in your stationary RV. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. We're so glad you came to visit. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We so appreciate your support, and we'll see you next week.